Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this video exploring the energies of Gemini season. So this runs from May the 21st through until June 21st. Happy solar return to all the Geminis out there celebrating this season. And regardless of whether you are a Gemini or not, this video is still for you because we're going to be exploring the main cosmic themes that are at play this month and how you can manifest with this energy. So if you are new here, my name is Kara, and when I do these cosmic energy readings, I'm studying the astrology and also sharing channel guidance with you from the Akashic records. So I love to support the healers, light workers, star seeds of this planet in getting your message, your work out into the world, receiving abundantly for it, discovering the magic of co-creating with cosmic intelligence. So if this resonates, be sure that you subscribe. I would love to support your journey. So the ruler of Gemini season is Mercury. So it really gives us a feel for like, what is the theme? What is the underlying vibe of the month? And Mercury is actually moving very quickly throughout this month as well. We're coming out of a retrograde. It's now going to be out of shadow phase and picking up momentum. So if we look at what Mercury represents, what it governs, we explore things like communication and the thoughts and beliefs that we entertain. So a big message coming through around this from the records is explore the conversations that you are engaged in. What ones are taking you out of your power? What is draining your energy? Like, what conversations are you getting involved with that are just going nowhere? And if anything, are taking you further away from your path? And this isn't about blaming the people around you. Any conversation or dialogue we are in, we always get to look at what role am I playing within this? How am I showing up? How am I guiding, leading, contributing to the conversation? Am I in my power as that frequency keeper, calling people to join me in my vibration simply by how I show up, how I choose to respond? So exploring that can be really, really helpful this month. Also looking at the thoughts and beliefs that you are entertaining in your life. So my initial background is in psychology. I worked as a psychotherapist before branching more into the work I do today as that spiritual business coach. So early on in my psychology years, I learned about the study of mindfulness, which since then has really picked up a lot of speed and momentum. And, hearing about mindfulness is one thing. Really implementing it in our life is a game changer. So the reason I bring this up now is part of a mindfulness practice can be understanding that you are not your thoughts. Thoughts do not define who you are. A thought that pops into your mind doesn't mean that it's true, that it's factual, that it deserves your energy or attention. So practice being the observer of your thoughts, and any unwanted thoughts you don't have to engage with. You don't have to entertain. You don't have to tell a story around thoughts that no longer serve you or support you. So I've got my charts pulled up here too. I want to give you the exact dates as well for this Mercury transit. So it's going to be in Taurus until June 11th. And then after that, it's going to be in Gemini for the remainder of Gemini season. So we'll have working with it in the energy of Taurus and then in Gemini. And because it is moving so quickly, this can also be beautiful for bringing new ideas in for creative projects that you may want to share with the world. Now, the other side of this energy here, the shadow side, could be feeling overwhelmed with all the ideas that are coming through. So this comes up a lot with clients that I work with, feeling like they have all these ideas, but they don't know what one to run with. And it can even lead to this feeling of or experience of procrastination, or we're so overwhelmed we shut down. So how I work with this is some ideas that drop in, I run with right away. And I can, work pretty quickly with this. There's times where I'll get an idea and it's like, wow, okay, I'm creating it the next day. The sign up page is out there. It's ready for you. Like I just move with the energy really quickly. Now there's other ideas that pop in that I sit with for a long time before I birth them into the world. And these could these may often be, larger creations or things that I just feel need a little bit more time, a little bit more energy to bring to fruition. So we do need an element of discernment on what ideas and thoughts we are running with, following through with, versus which ones get placed on the back burner for a little bit. And also, every idea that drops in doesn't mean that we bring every single thought or idea we have into fruition in our business, right? There can be, and Gemini season really teaches us this. It's just about being in the joy, the fun, the creativity, the playfulness of having the idea and enjoying that. So there's something to be said about like releasing the pressure of every idea we have needing to be birthed into the world. Sometimes it's just simply the idea itself, the possibility itself that's activating, that is the spark that does lead to something else that we birth into the world, whether now or at a later time. So the Sagittarius full moon is going to be happening on June the 3rd. I'll do a separate video on this, going into more of the details, but just to give you an overview here, the main message that dropped in from the records around this is freedom. Cultivating true freedom in your life. And this is reinforced by a conjunction that's happening at the time of the Sagittarius full moon between Uranus and Mercury, which is really about liberating yourself through your thoughts. So what often takes our freedom away is we are entertaining thoughts and beliefs that are disempowering, or that keep us in this cycle of thinking our abundance, our joy, our freedom is somewhere in the future or existing outside of us, as opposed to a frequency and vibration that we tap into and attune to moment to moment. And that can be the shadow side of the Sagittarius energy. So again, with the Sagittarius full moon, every Gemini season, we're going to have a Sagittarius full moon when the moon moves into Sagittarius and forms that opposition with the sun in Gemini. So the shadow side of this energy is like the grass is always greener on the other side, constantly seeking out this adventure, but never truly arriving. So we want to take time to recognize, how can I be grateful and satisfied with where I am today while still excited about what is to come? Because there is this energy, this archetype of the seeker that we see with this Sagittarius full moon as well, that desire for adventure and exploration. We just want to be aware that we don't put our happiness, our freedom, our abundance external to us. It's the law of unity. You are one with what you desire to create. And the more you can embody and integrate the frequency of what it is you desire to experience, the more you merge with that energy and then see the external expression of it in the world. Also this month, we have Mars in Leo, and on June 5th, we're going to have Venus entering Leo as well. Mars in Leo is quite playful, quite fun, and it really contributes to the vibe of this month of like expanding into new possibilities and just being in this playful energy of creativity. Mars in Leo reminds us to play. And the message that dropped in from the records around this, or is coming in now anyway, is that through joy and playfulness is where we contribute to our creativity. It's not like we just sit down in front of the computer and force ourselves to have this download for a program that we want to share with the world in a really serious state. It's when we're playing, it's when we're having fun that new ideas drop in for us. So really take a look at, what does playfulness and fun mean for you? How do you desire to express yourself at this time? Now, this shift of Venus moving into Leo is really about embodying the queen energy, claiming your space, looking at what you are passionate about in your life. We're working with fire energy here, and then the sun in Gemini bringing in the air element. Air and fire go well together. So there is this creative spark of passion, this portal that we can step into that can expand us into more joy, more creativity, more playfulness. And momentum really builds when we lean into what lights us up and we choose that more and more. It becomes easier and easier to choose that. We build momentum when we continually lean in and choose more joy and fun and playfulness in our life. So really exploring that. Like, I like that energy. I like the queen archetypal energy coming in with Venus in Leo. And Venus is going to be in Leo for a while because it's going to stay there until October the 10th. So you'll probably hear me talk about this energy again. We're playing with it for a while. And the reason it's going to be in Leo for so long is it is going to retrograde in Leo on July 22nd. So I'll talk more about that as the date gets closer, but we have a long stretch of exploring the magic of Venus, the goddess of love, of beauty, and prosperity in the sign of Leo, the king, the queen, kind of archetypal energy. So there's a couple retrogrades I want to look at that are happening in Gemini season as well. We're going to have Pluto retrograding in Capricorn on June the 11th, going all the way back to the 27-degree mark of Capricorn. Pluto energy is, it's transformational. So I've had new initiations into the power of this Pluto archetype with a transit that I've had in my chart for, I'm moving away from it now, but 2.5 years of Pluto opposing my natal sign in Cancer. Wow. Like, understanding the power that Pluto brings. It is the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. Pluto transits, we go forever. Change. It is deep, deep levels of transformation. So for the collective, Pluto brings about massive shifts as well. And we had a taste of it in Aquarius. And then in 2024, it's going to permanently, well, for a long time, the next 20 years, it's going to move into Aquarius. So we're going to be playing in that energy for a while. But when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, there's some themes that we are revisiting here. So think of the energy of Pluto, death, rebirth, regeneration, truly like a soul level transformational energy. If we look at the archetypal energy of Capricorn, where it's going to be retrograding through, Capricorn represents work. It represents tradition. It's about persistence. It's the masculine energy, the structures that govern our society. So Pluto there, and we've seen this at work since 2008 with it traveling through Capricorn, and we are questioning all of these things more deeply. What traditions are being revamped? What does work mean in our society? Where are we overworking, working to burnout? And in your own life, you can look and explore these themes as well. Also, how do you define success? Capricorn really connects to success in the world as well. I like to call it and help my clients create soulful success, which is based on your soul desires, your soul purpose, what lights you up, what you feel you are here to experience and contribute and share with this planet. So with Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn this Gemini season, you can really begin to reflect more deeply on those things and even looking at that balance in your life of where you may be overworking, where you're working to burnout or exhaustion, and recognizing that there's a better way to do this. There's a more sustainable way to do this. And again, I think that Leo energy coming in with Venus and Mars in Leo throughout Gemini season, that we really bring in more of that element of play in our life, and we recognize the importance of playfulness in life. So the other retrograde here that I want to speak to is on June 17th, we're going to have Saturn retrograding into Pisces. So this is a fairly new transit of Saturn moving into Pisces. What's so interesting about this transit is these energies are so different. Pisces is very ethereal. It's very spiritual. It connects us into higher realms of consciousness. It connects us to our higher self. It's about the energetics. Whereas Saturn is very practical. It's about structure. It's about discipline. It's about the tangible and the physical. So these energies coming together are quite interesting. And we could see this as bringing together our divinity and our humanity. We are reflections of infinite intelligence, yet here in a physical body. So this transit is really helping us look at how we move through that, like how we approach and move through this human experience while knowing we are also so much more. And I think finding an element of compassion for everybody in our world and around us as well. And like that understanding that we are all here co-creating together at this time. And yes, we are all on a unique journey, but we are way more connected than we often allow ourselves to remember or recognize. And we are all teachers for one another as well on this life path and journey. So Saturn retrograding in Pisces we can create with this energy in different ways. This can really be looking at the spiritual practices we have in our life and even bringing an element of structure to them. Saturn, structure go hand in hand. So this could be being consistent with a meditation practice, not trying something for a couple weeks and then saying, oh, I'll forget about it. It's like persisting with things that we know serve us is a really important thing. So this could be reflecting on our own personal growth and journey as well. So I want to take another look at this chart here and feel what else is coming in here. Feel there's another message wanting to come in. Yeah. So Saturn in Pisces as well. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it's a closing out of a cycle, and it's closing out of a 28-year cycle as well. So depending on your age, you could look back and see, okay, what is coming to completion these past 28 years of my life? How have I learned, evolved, grown, and changed? And like, what's coming to an end? Because Pisces does govern endings because it's the last sign of the zodiac. So this can be a time to really reflect on what is coming to completion, what is coming to an end. Seeing it from our higher self's perspective as well, which changes everything. It's like we can see it through the eyes of our ego, our human personality, and that's a beautiful thing. And it can also bring in limitations. So when we say, how does my higher self see this? How can I see the challenges I've navigated in my life through the perspective of my higher self? That changes everything. That's been one of the gifts, many gifts I've had from working in the records. One of them is getting that bird's eye view of like a broader perspective of what's unfolding in the planet, what's unfolding in my life, when we recognize like there's so many pieces that we don't always see when we're just in the ego, right? We don't always see that bigger picture. So that's the Saturn retrograde. Now on June 18th here, we have the new moon in Gemini. So beautiful for setting your intentions. New moons are always new beginnings, that new energy. And it's just that reminder that really it's like new moons are new beginnings and there's that cycle, but moment to moment is always a new beginning. And if we stop lugging our past around and expecting the past to repeat in the present and create our future, it's like a clear energy we are creating from. It's a new energy. I actually want to speak to that too. With Saturn in Pisces, it is about kind of that getting comfortable creating in the void and that recognition that like moment to moment, new beginnings. What do I desire to create? What do I desire to experience? How can I set myself free from the past instead of lugging it around, which just weighs me down and gets really heavy? And how can I come back to this is a new beginning? This is a new energy. What do I desire to focus my thoughts on? What actions feel aligned to take? What do I desire to create? And there's such a joy that comes with that, and freedom that comes with that. It comes with that recognition. So Gemini new moon, again, I will dive deeper into this in a new moon video, but to give you the overview now, this can be a really good time to explore the connections that you have in your life. Gemini is a very social energy. So looking at who you are connecting with, going back to this idea, what conversations are you entertaining in your life? Are they replenishing you or are they draining you? And how are you contributing to them? And yeah, communication, the thoughts you're entertaining, letting go of thoughts that don't serve you. Just because a thought pops into your awareness doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it defines who you are. And if it takes away your power and doesn't feel good, like just let it go, release it, focus elsewhere. So yeah, connection as well. Who do you desire to deepen that connection with? And Gemini is a very fun, playful energy as well. So in the relationships in your life, how can you bring more joy, fun, and like a lightness to it? There's like a light, playful vibe with Gemini. It also reminds us to really keep like an open, curious mind, asking questions, like getting curious about things instead of forming too many conclusions or judgments. Instead, how about we just ask more questions and become more curious about things? Like there's power in that openness, curiosity, compassion, love, and playfulness. So that is the overview for Gemini season. Share with me below what really resonated with you. Share with me below what you are creating this month. I will also share below with you some helpful links right now to my inner circle, my latest program, Calling Your Millionaire Consciousness, and the Akashic Records. So you can check out both of those, and just sending you all so much love, happy manifesting, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.